When I first began my search for the hidden laws behind every great fortune, I never imagined how profoundly this journey would change me. I was a young man, curious, restless, standing in a world that rewarded power, wealth, and position, yet I sensed that behind all these visible achievements lay an invisible cause. I made it my mission to discover that cause, to find the universal law that separates the few who rise above mediocrity from the many who remain trapped within it. Years later, I called it the law of success. But before you read another word, I must tell you something vital. You can do it if you believe you can. Every man or woman who has ever touched greatness began with that inner conviction. Now, success is not luck. It is not a favor that destiny grants to a few and denies to others. Success is a matter of adjusting oneself harmoniously and confidently, ever-changing conditions of life. The moment a man learns to live in tune with his environment instead of fighting it, he begins to attract success as naturally as a magnet draws steel. This course, which I now share with you, is not a theory. It is a blueprint, tested, proven, and refined through years of struggle, observation, and experience. I have watched it lift men from despair to wealth, from obscurity to fame, and if you follow it faithfully, it will do the same for you. Before I ever put a word of this philosophy into print, I tested it for 7 years, city by city, face to face with the people of America. I spoke before merchants, salesmen, factory owners, dreamers, anyone hungry for a better life. My assistants watched every reaction, every spark in the crowd, and through them, I learned what awakened the sleeping power in people. I rewrote, reshaped, and redefined until the formula worked. My first great test came when I trained 3,000 men and women as a sales army. Most of them had never sold a thing in their lives. Within 6 months, they earned more than $1 million in a time when $1 million meant something. I earned $30,000 for my service. But what mattered more was proof. Proof that the law of success worked for ordinary people who were ready to think and act in harmony with it. From that moment, I knew this philosophy was not mine alone. It belonged to everyone who sought mastery over themselves. I remember the day when the late Don R. Mellett, a brilliant publisher, saw this vision as I did. He told me, "Hill, this course must reach the world." He planned to leave his position at the Canton Daily News to help me spread it. But before he could, he was assassinated, a tragic blow that almost ended our mission. Yet even tragedy carries its hidden seed of benefit. Through Mellett's influence, Judge Elbert H. Gary, then chairman of U.S. Steel, examined my work. He found it so valuable that he prepared to invest $150,000 to bring the law of success to every employee in his company. Imagine the largest steel corporation on earth, ready to teach its workers a philosophy of success. His passing halted the plan, but his interest proved the truth. The principles you are about to learn can transform not only an individual, but entire organizations. As you continue this journey with me, I ask one thing. Do not read these words as mere sentences on paper. Read them as if I am speaking directly to you, because I am. This is not entertainment. I did not write this course to amuse. I wrote it to awaken that hidden power that lies dormant within you, the power that will shape your destiny. When you read, take notes. Let ideas flash across your mind. You will begin to see patterns, possibilities, and paths that were invisible before. Each time you return to these pages, you will discover something new, a deeper understanding, a sharper insight. That is how growth works. There is a law in psychology, so profound that it forms the cornerstone of every achievement that ever was. I call it the mastermind. It is the secret power born when 2 or more minds unite in harmony, cooperating toward a definite purpose. From that unity arises an unseen force, a third mind, a greater intelligence that cannot exist in isolation. This is not philosophy, it is fact. I have witnessed the law of the mastermind transform average men into extraordinary leaders. I have seen small sales teams use it to multiply their income beyond belief. At the Prudential Life Insurance Company, a handful of salesmen, ordinary men, selling small policies joined together in friendly alliance to experiment with this law. Within 3 months, each of them sold more insurance than ever before in an entire year. Now, pause and reflect on that. Life insurance, one of the hardest things to sell. Yet, these men achieved the impossible. What made the difference? It wasn't the product. It was the power of harmony. The combined energy of their minds created an invisible momentum that carried them far beyond their individual efforts. This, my friend, is the secret to all lasting success. You can achieve nothing great alone. The greatest industrial empires, the most powerful nations, and the most inspiring movements of history were all built by groups of men who mastered the art of cooperation. It begins with understanding yourself, mastering your emotions, and learning to harmonize with others without friction or envy. And so, as you stand at the beginning of this course, remember, the key to power, wealth, and happiness lies within your own mind, but it grows only when joined in harmony with other minds. The mastermind principle is the invisible bridge between your individual potential and the infinite intelligence of the universe itself. You are about to cross that bridge. When I first began to teach this law, I realized something profound. Most men fail not because they lack intelligence or opportunity, but because they attempt to climb the mountain of success alone. They struggle, they push, they fall. And they never understand that success was never meant to be a solitary climb. It is a team ascent, powered by harmony, faith, and organized effort. You can look around and see it everywhere. The greatest industrial empires, the most powerful movements, the most revolutionary ideas, all were born from a meeting of minds. Henry Ford did not build his empire by himself. He surrounded himself with men who could think, plan, and execute with precision. Thomas Edison didn't invent alone in a dark laboratory. He created an environment where ideas were exchanged, tested, and refined by other sharp minds. Andrew Carnegie once said that his entire fortune could disappear overnight, and he could build it again in no time if he still had the men who worked with him. That, my friend, is the secret of the mastermind. It is not about who you are alone, but who you become when you join forces with others who share your vision. A single idea, no matter how brilliant, will fade without the oxygen of collaboration. But when minds unite with a shared purpose, that same idea turns into an unstoppable force. Yet, not every association can become a mastermind. Harmony is the foundation. Without it, the minds you bring together will cancel one another out instead of amplifying their power. I've seen men of great ability destroy their own dreams simply because they could not maintain harmony with those around them. Ego, jealousy, distrust, these are the poisons that dissolve the bond of genius. The moment you let these enter your circle, you break the magnetic connection that gives birth to greatness. Let me share something personal. There was a time when I too tried to work alone, convinced that no one could understand my vision the way I did. I guarded my ideas like treasure, afraid someone might steal them. But that fear was the very thing that kept me poor. The moment I learned to trust, to connect, and to align myself with others who believed in my purpose, my entire world transformed. I didn't just gain new ideas. I gained new energy, new courage, and new momentum. A mastermind alliance creates more than cooperation. It creates a third, invisible mind, a spiritual energy that begins to think and act for you. When two or more people harmonize their thoughts, they form an unseen intelligence that guides their actions, warns them of danger, and opens doors that would never open for them alone. I have seen men rise from poverty to power by nothing more than aligning their minds with one another in perfect understanding. Think of it this way. Every mind emits a certain vibration. When two minds vibrate at the same frequency, inspired by the same purpose, they amplify each other. It is like tuning two instruments to the same note. The sound becomes richer, fuller, and more powerful. But when one instrument is out of tune, the music turns into noise. Your task, therefore, is to keep your circle tuned in faith, in loyalty, and in belief. The tragedy of most people is that they seek to dominate, not to harmonize. They want to lead before they learn to serve. But leadership in a mastermind is not about command, it is about contribution. The strongest leader is the one who can unite others under a single purpose and make them feel that their success is part of something divine. Now, understand this. No one is immune to the influence of environment. Your mind is like fertile soil. It will grow whatever seed is planted in it. If you surround yourself with small thinkers, your dreams will shrink to their size. But if you walk among those who dream in great dimensions, your own vision will expand beyond anything you once believed possible. You become what you are surrounded by. I remember a young man who once came to me, lost and discouraged. He told me that every time he tried to rise, his friends laughed at him, told him he was reaching too high. I asked him one question. Why do you stay among people who don't see what you see? Within a year of changing his circle, he built a business that those same friends now admire. He did not change his destiny, he changed his associations. You must choose your mastermind carefully. It is not the number of people that matters. It is their quality. One single mind aligned with yours in perfect harmony can be worth more than 1,000. Indifferent companions, seek those whose faith strengthens yours, whose ambition ignites yours, and whose honesty demands your best. And once you find them, protect that alliance as you would protect your life. Remember, success is not built in noise and chaos. It grows in silence, in mutual respect, in shared confidence. Every great plan begins with two people sitting together in faith, one speaking, the other listening, both believing. That belief becomes the first brick in the invisible structure of success. If you truly wish to transform your life, begin by transforming your associations. Ask yourself who around you pushes you to grow. Who inspires you when you are tired? Who makes you see the greatness within you that you sometimes forget? If you cannot name such people, then your work begins there. Find them, attract them, and when you do, never let them go. Because in the end, every dreamer faces moments of doubt. Every builder faces storms. And in those moments, the mastermind will be your anchor. It will remind you that you are not alone, that the same force that built empires and shaped destinies is within your reach, waiting for you to claim it through the power of harmonious thought. When you understand this truth deeply, something extraordinary happens. You stop chasing success, and success begins to chase you. Doors open, people appear, and opportunities align in ways you could never orchestrate by yourself. That, my friend, is the magic of the mastermind, the invisible partnership between your will, your allies, and the universe itself. When you begin to live by this principle, a subtle transformation takes place within you. You start to sense a force greater than yourself moving through your life, an energy that brings the right people, the right opportunities, and the right timing together in perfect order. This is not coincidence. It is the invisible hand of the mastermind at work. The moment harmony enters your thinking, the universe begins to cooperate with your purpose. I have seen miracles happen in the lives of ordinary men once they aligned themselves with others in faith and purpose. Men who once struggled to pay their rent suddenly found doors opening to new enterprises. Ideas that once seemed impossible became tangible realities. It wasn't luck, it was the science of harmony, the spiritual chemistry of human thought working in unity. Your mind, when combined with another imperfect understanding, becomes a transmitter and receiver of powerful vibrations. It sends out your desires, your visions, your determination, and draws back the people and circumstances needed to fulfill them. This is how life rewards the man who works with others, not against them. But here lies a truth most people overlook. Harmony cannot exist where fear lives. Fear is the great divider. It isolates minds, builds walls, and kills trust. You cannot be a part of a mastermind if you carry doubt in your heart. Faith is the only admission ticket. You must believe in your allies as firmly as you believe in yourself. For the moment you question their loyalty, the current of power breaks. I recall once meeting a man who had all the talent and intelligence in the world, yet could never rise beyond mediocrity. His problem was simple: he trusted no one. He built walls so high around his ideas that even opportunity could not climb them. He lived and died with potential unrealized. And when I think of him, I am reminded that isolation is the slowest form of death. If you wish to rise to greatness, you must surrender the illusion of independence. You are not meant to do this alone. Every great achievement in history was a symphony of many minds, not a solo performance. The airplane, the radio, the light bulb, none of these came from one man's genius alone. They were born from the friction, faith, and fusion of several brilliant minds tuned to one purpose. Now, you may be wondering, how do I form my mastermind? The answer is simpler than you think. Begin with one person who believes in your vision, truly believes. It could be a friend, a partner, a spouse, a mentor. Share your goal with them in complete honesty. Discuss your dreams, your fears, your plans. Then meet regularly to feed that dream with faith. Over time, that bond will draw others who resonate with your purpose. The law will do the rest. Do not rush this process. A mastermind built on weak foundations will collapse under the weight of ambition. Choose slowly, wisely. Remember, one genuine believer is worth more than 100 spectators. A single spark of loyalty can ignite 1,000 opportunities. As your alliance grows, so will your strength. You will begin to notice that problems once too big to face alone now dissolve easily. Ideas will flow faster. Inspiration will strike more often. And you will realize that success was never about trying harder. It was about connecting deeper. I once asked Andrew Carnegie, "What do you consider your greatest asset?" He smiled and said, "My greatest asset is the ability to surround myself with people who can do what I cannot, and trust them completely." That answer has lived with me ever since. It is not the number of men that matters, but the harmony among them. Harmony turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. You see, success is not a lonely mountain peak. It is a network of hearts and minds connected by a shared vision. The moment you learn to think in terms of we instead of I, your world expands. You stop competing and start creating. You stop fearing loss and begin multiplying abundance. But understand this: harmony is not automatic. It must be cultivated daily, like a sacred garden. You must water it with respect, nourish it with honesty, and protect it from the weeds of ego and resentment. The mastermind is a living thing. Treat it carelessly, and it will wither. Honor it, and it will carry you to heights you never dreamed of. And now, as you stand at the doorway of this principle, I want you to do something simple, yet powerful. Close your eyes for a moment, and imagine your ideal circle of minds. Picture the people who uplift you, challenge you, believe in you. See them sitting around a table with you, united in one great purpose: to build, to serve, to grow. Feel the energy between you, the invisible thread that connects heart to heart, idea to idea. That is the mastermind in motion. If you can hold that vision, you can make it real. Because the law that created it is universal. It does not care about your background, your wealth, or your education. It only responds to harmony, faith, and persistence. The moment you unite these three, you have unlocked the same power that has built empires and shaped the destinies of nations. And when life tests you, and it will remember this, no storm can destroy a house built on harmony. If your alliance is rooted in faith, then no setback, no criticism, no betrayal can break it. The power of many minds united in belief is stronger than any single obstacle in your path. So, my final word to you, the listener, the dreamer, the doer, is this: never walk alone again. Build your circle. Cherish it. Grow it. The world will try to convince you that success is a solo race, but that is a lie. The truth is, life was designed to be a partnership between you, others, and the infinite intelligence that governs all. When you find your mastermind, protect it as the most precious treasure of your existence, because within it lies every dream you have ever dared to imagine, and every victory you were destined to achieve. Now, go and begin. Somewhere out there, someone is waiting to join their mind with yours, to help you build the life both of you were born to live.